You've probably eaten a KitKat hundreds of times without thinking twice. It's simple. Chocolate on the outside, wafer on the inside. But here's something most people don't realize. Part of what you're eating is made from other KitKats, broken ones, rejected ones, pieces that never made it to the shelf, reused, refined, and built back into the final product. And once you understand how it's actually made, you won't look at it the same way again. It looks simple, but it isn't. At first glance, a KitKat feels basic. Chocolate, wafer, that's it. But behind that simplicity is a highly controlled process where every detail matters. The texture, the snap, the way it melts, even the sound when you break it. None of that happens by accident. Every layer is engineered. Every step is measured. Because at this scale, even the smallest variation can change the entire experience. Where it really begins, long before the factory, before the machines, before the packaging, it starts in heat. In regions like West Africa, cocoa pods are harvested by hand, not machines, not automation. People carefully cutting pods from trees because one wrong cut can damage the beans inside. But harvesting is only the beginning. The beans don't go straight to production. Instead, they're left to ferment. Days under the sun, heat, moisture, and time working together to develop flavor. Then they're dried. Slowly, naturally. Because without this stage, chocolate wouldn't taste like chocolate. It would be flat, bitter, incomplete. This is where flavor is born, from nature to industry. Once the beans are ready, everything changes. From open air and sunlight, to steel, heat, and machines. Inside the factory, tons of cocoa beans move through massive systems. Rotating drums clean them. Air systems separate debris. Sorting machines remove anything imperfect. Because from this point on, precision takes over. Nature created the raw material, the step that decides everything. Then comes one of the most critical stages, roasting. It sounds simple. Heat the beans, but this step determines everything. Too much heat? The flavor turns bitter. Too little? The flavor never fully develops. There's a narrow window where everything is perfect, and staying inside that window is one of the biggest challenges in chocolate production, because once this step is wrong, there's no fixing it later. The transformation, after roasting, the beans are crushed, and something unexpected happens. They don't stay solid, they turn into liquid, a thick, rich cocoa paste. This is the moment where raw material becomes something recognizable, from hard, dry beans to smooth, flowing chocolate. It's not just a change in form, it's a complete transformation. Building the flavor. Now comes the mixing stage. This is where the signature taste is created. Sugar is added, milk powder, cocoa butter, and other ingredients that are carefully controlled and rarely fully revealed. Everything is blended for hours, not minutes, hours, until the texture becomes smooth, uniform, consistent. Because this isn't just about taste, it's about creating the exact same taste, every single time, no matter where you are in the world. The science of texture. Then comes a step most people never think about, tempering. Chocolate is heated, then cooled, then reheated again, over and over. This process controls microscopic crystals inside the chocolate, and those crystals determine everything. The shine, the snap, the way it melts in your mouth. Without tempering, chocolate would look dull, feel soft, and melt unevenly. So what seems like a simple coating is actually a controlled chemical structure. The wafer, the real identity. But chocolate isn't what makes KitKat unique. It's the wafer. Light, crispy, fragile. Baked in seconds under intense heat, layered precisely. Because without the wafer, it's just another chocolate bar. The wafer creates contrast. Soft and crisp, smooth and crunchy, and that contrast is what defines the experience. The part nobody expects. Now here's where things get interesting. Inside large-scale production, nothing is wasted. Broken KitKats, rejected pieces, bars that don't meet visual standards. They don't get thrown away, they're crushed, ground down, and reused. That mixture becomes part of the filling between wafer layers. So in a very real way, KitKat contains KitKat. It sounds unusual, but in industrial food production, it's a controlled system, efficient, consistent, and carefully managed. Bringing it all together, now the layers are ready. Wafer sheets, chocolate mixture, everything prepared. And this is where the product finally starts to look familiar. The wafers move forward on a conveyor, and then they pass through flowing chocolate, like a waterfall, every surface covered, every edge sealed, perfectly coated. This is the moment where raw components become a finished product, precision at scale. Once coated, the bars are not shaped individually. They begin as large sheets, wide, continuous, moving through the line. Then in seconds, sharp blades cut them, clean lines, perfect edges, identical sizes. Thousands of bars created in moments, each one matching the next, because consistency isn't optional, it's required. Why it always feels familiar. There's a reason KitKat tastes the same every time. No surprises, no variation, because the entire process is built around control, temperature, timing, ingredients, structure. Everything is measured, everything is repeatable. That's what allows millions of bars to be produced without changing the experience. The psychology behind the product, even the way you eat a KitKat is designed. Have a break, have a KitKat. It's not just a slogan, it connects the act of snapping the bar with the idea of taking a break. That small action becomes a habit, a routine, and over time it becomes part of how people experience the product. Not just eating, but pausing, quality control. Before any bar reaches a store shelf, it undergoes inspection. Not casually, not quickly, but carefully, with precision. Every detail is checked: shape, coating, structure, texture. Even the smallest imperfection is noted. Anything that doesn't meet the standard is removed from the line, yet nothing is wasted. Each rejected bar is recycled back into the system, melted down, reshaped, and given another chance. Efficiency and consistency go hand in hand, ensuring that every product reflects the same level of quality. This process isn't just about appearance, it's about trust. Customers expect uniformity, and the brand's reputation depends on delivering it. A bar that looks uneven or feels off could undermine confidence. That's why inspection is relentless, repeated at every stage. Machines scan, workers observe, standards are enforced. The result is more than chocolate, it's reliability. Each bar represents a promise that what you hold in your hand is the same as what millions of others enjoy worldwide. Behind the sweetness lies discipline, repetition, and an uncompromising commitment to quality. By the time a bar finally leaves the factory, it has already proven itself worthy. Not once, not twice, but through every step of the journey. Global scale. Once approved, the bars are wrapped, sealed, packed, and shipped across countries, across continents, millions of units every single day. And yet, no matter where you buy one, the experience is almost identical. That's not coincidence. That's design. The bigger picture. What looks like a simple chocolate bar is actually the result of multiple systems working together. Agriculture, chemistry, engineering, manufacturing, logistics, each step connected, each step dependent on the one before it, because without one part, the entire process fails. Final perspective. The next time you pick up a KitKat, it might seem the same as always, but now you know what's behind it. The harvesting, the fermentation, the roasting, the precision, the hidden reuse, the controlled systems that most people never see. It's not just chocolate, it's a process, designed, refined, and repeated millions of times. Outro. If this changed the way you look at everyday products, make sure to like and subscribe, because once you start seeing what's behind simple things, you realize they're not simple at all.